Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here, and today's shout out goes to Victor DeMare. Victor was first to say first in one of my recent videos, and thus wins this shout out, so congratulations. Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here, and I have a really neat airplane for review today, folks. This is the SG F22 vertical stunt plane. What is it? It's a 280 millimeter wingspan flying model of the F22. Now, why am I interested in reviewing it? For one thing, it's a 4-channel plane, which means we have throttle control. We have aileron control, which is through these two elevons, or actually elevons. And we got elevator control through the elevons. And we also have rudder control, even though we do not have a rudder on this airplane. Okay, how do they achieve rudder control with this? Well, it's through differential thrust of the motors. So if you want to turn to the right, this motor is going to provide more thrust and push it to the right. And if you're turning to the left, this motor is going to provide more thrust and push it to the left. Other things about the plane, it is powered by two 8623 brushed motors. Now these motors will eventually fail, folks. All brushed motors do, but supposedly they are coming out with replacements for these, the 8623s. Hopefully they'll have it for this particular plane. I've been looking for 8623s, and they're kind of difficult to find right at the moment, because if you look closely, folks, let me bring it up close, they are rather long motors. Okay, they're very long in length. But we'll see. I'm sure that they'll have replacement motors for these out here in the near future, because this, I think I've got a feeling this might be a popular plane, especially if I go to fly it and it performs as advertised, because this thing has a lot of stunts that it's able to do, supposedly able to do. Okay, other things about the plane. It is powered by a little, well, it ain't little, it's 3.7 volt, 850 milliamp hour battery with red JST connector. I haven't seen one of these for a while, but it uses red JST connectors. But you can find these. Okay, these are available generically, so you can find these replacement motors. But I would recommend, if you are considering this airplane and you want additional batteries, see about getting these bundled at the time of purchase. It makes it much easier in finding replacement batteries for that airplane. Okay, other things about the plane. It has very bright and colorful LED strips on the front for night flying, folks. So, well, I wouldn't recommend flying in full darkness, but at dusk, this probably looks pretty neat with these lights, because they are pretty. They are really pretty when they're lit up. So, I mentioned it can do stunts. Okay, there are 3 flight modes for this airplane. Let's go into them right now. It is vertical flight mode, so you can actually launch this by hand vertically, and also if you're flying, you hit the button and this will automatically go into vertical flight mode and fly like a quadcopter. Very much like a quadcopter. And we'll demonstrate that too when we go out in the field to fly this. But it also has 6G mode, stabilized mode, fully stabilized for beginner pilots. What does that mean? That means if you're in 6G mode and you fly and you get into trouble, let go of the sticks, and this will automatically right itself and fly horizontally to save yourself from crashing. Okay, even if it's an extreme like this, heading straight to the ground, or upside down heading straight to the ground, let go of the sticks and this thing will automatically and quickly right itself to save yourself from crashing. Okay, that's pretty neat. But it also can fly in 3D mode. You can turn off that stabilization. Well, it doesn't turn off the stabilization entirely. There's still some minor stabilization for wind gusts. If it gets hit by wind gusts, it'll try to stabilize itself. But when you go into 3D mode, that lets you fly freely. Okay, in 6G mode, there's a limit to the amount of pitch and roll that you can achieve while you're in 6G mode. That it'll stop itself from exceeding. Okay, that's again to prevent crashes by beginner pilots. But you go into 3D mode, that turns off those angle restrictions. They call it angle restrictions, and you can go full acrobatic or aerobatic with this airplane by doing such. Okay, other things about it. I haven't gone into the belly, all the belly things on here, but I spoke about the light strips. It does have an on-off switch, which I like to see on planes. It also has 3 little electronics ports for additional LED lights if you want to add them, and also for a Wi-Fi module, which means they are planning a camera for this airplane in the future. And I see where they're going to install the camera, right about there in this belly. Looks like there's a sliding slot here for a future camera release of this aircraft. Now, one thing about the battery bay, where the battery goes, notice that there's a little screw hole on this. In the instructions, they recommend installing that screw, that fixing screw before flying, because this door pops open very easily, folks. You know, if you're going to be doing stunts, you might lose the battery in flight. So yeah, either install a battery there or maybe put a piece of tape across this to keep the battery door closed when you're flying. It is the controls of the ailerons for the elevator and aileron control is done through two servos here. They're individual servos, so they are independent of each other, and you'll see that when you actually power up the aircraft, you'll see the independent control. So if you want to turn to the right using the ailerons, actually this one just pops up and that one more or less stays flat. And similarly, if you want to roll to the left, this one pops up. Yeah, this one pops up and this one stays flat for aileron control of the aircraft. So keep that in mind. Okay, I didn't mention automatic stunts. This has the capability of doing automatic stunts, folks, in 6G mode. And to do that, all you need to do is press this button on the controller. They call it the 6G roll button, and tell it what to do. You can tell it to, if you want to roll to the left, you just hit the stick to the left, and it will automatically do a left roll. Okay, like that. Okay, you want to do a right roll, press that button again, and go right on the stick on the ailerons, and it will do a right aileron roll. And also, it's supposedly able to do loops too automatically by pressing the button and just pulling back on the stick, and it should do an automatic loop. Now there's one other thing that it's supposed to be able to do, and I don't know how, but it's we'll find out if I can do it out in the field, but it's supposed to do inverted flight automatically also. It says get it in inverted position, let go of the sticks. I don't know how you get it in inverted position other than maybe doing one of those loops, especially if it's 6G stabilized with angle restrictions. But if you get it in inverted mode, let go of the sticks, and it's supposed to stay in that position flying inverted. I don't know if that's going to work, but we'll see when we take it out into the field. Okay, other things. The controller is supposed to have 200-meter range on this controller. Let's talk about the controls on it. Again, this is your 6G roll automatic acrobatics button. You press that button again and move the stick to tell it which direction to go. Now this button here, if you push it forward all the way, that puts the aircraft into vertical mode. And let me show you that. Actually, I am going to hook up the controller and just show you what this does. So hold on, folks. Okay, I installed the battery. I'm not going to close it up, but let's turn it on to show you those lights. They're very bright, very colorful too. But putting it down on the pad or on my tabletop here and turning on the controller, and to bind this you have to do a up and down on the throttle stick to connect the controller to that surface or to the aircraft. Okay, right now we are in stabilized mode, 6G stabilized mode, with that in the center position. And let me show you. I'm going to give a little throttle, but as you can see, going up or down on the control surfaces, this is trying to right itself by going like that, and this is trying to level itself by going like that. But you can see how the control surfaces automatically move while in 6G mode. Now when you put it into vertical mode, watch what happens to those back ailerons here. So go into vertical mode by pushing forward. Oh no, that's 3D mode. Vertical mode must be the opposite direction. Hold on, folks. There, vertical mode's this way, and that is confusing because it doesn't match up with what you see here. But vertical mode is toward you. But notice how it pitches up the ailerons, the elevators. And what that does is if you're in forward flight, it's going to pitch the aircraft vertically like that. And then once you're vertical, notice how the ailerons level out. Okay, but if you go like that, so they're trying to automatically keep the aircraft vertical. Okay, see how they move when I go forward and back like such. So that's the vertical control. Okay, toward your position. Okay, now let's go into 3D mode, all the way forward. That's full stunts, full control. But even then, there is still some stabilization, as you can see here. You can hear the servos twitching as my hands twitch and move around, simulating wind gusts hitting the aircraft. They're still trying to stabilize the aircraft, but if you pitch it up like so, it doesn't try to pitch the aircraft, here I'm trying to show the elevators, it doesn't try to pitch the aircraft back down again, okay? It remains in that position unless you move the aircraft around, again, trying to counter against wind gusts. By the way, look at those lights. Let me show you those lights. They're real pretty, ain't they? So, oh no, it is an interesting aircraft. I'm kind of excited to take it out into the field, but before we do that, let me turn off this and let's talk about what you get in the box. Okay, in the box you get the instruction manual. The instruction manual is actually very nicely done. It explains what you need to do and how you get what you need to do to get this in the air. Goes over some warnings. Make sure I covered them. The biggest one to cover is that screwing in the battery, okay, because this battery will pop out. It is real loose, that battery cover. You get the battery, which this 3.7 volt 850 milliampere battery, along with a battery charger for the battery. You get 3 full sets of propellers, so I've got a feeling these propellers might come off very easily if they give you 3 sets. But they give you 3. You should be able to find similar propellers to these to use in case you run out of these that will still work with this airplane, because they're just held on by friction onto the shafts of the motor, and there's plenty of propellers out there that are similar. You also get the screwdriver and additional screws. You get 2 screws, one for screwing in that battery panel on the bottom through that little hole there, and also another screw for this battery panel on the back of this. Excuse me, folks. So that's what you get in the package. I'm excited to fly this. This looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. So let's take it out into the field and see how it flies, folks. Hope you enjoy this flight. Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here, and welcome to the demonstration flight of the SG F22 here at Pleasant Ridge Park. Well, it's a little bit of an overcast day today, but the wind is very low, so it's a good day to be flying. So let's get it in the air. First off, notice I did screw the battery in like they tell you to, because this battery door latch is very flimsy. So you do need to screw that in as advertised, or use a piece of tape to close it. Okay, turning on the transmitter, and that should automatically bind, I believe, any second now. Maybe I got to go up and down. Oh, no bind. Oh yeah, we're bind. Okay, checking the control surfaces. Left turn, does that make sense? Yeah, that's going to push it down to the left. That's going to push it down to the right. Down the elevator, up elevator, and I already know that the motors are working. Okay, and I'm going to start off in beginner mode in the center position on the controller. Okay, we're going to hand launch it, in other words. Let me get it in my hand here. Lights are flashing, looks good. Let's get it in the air. Oh my. Oh, it's so smooth. And it's climbing quite a bit, which means we need some downward, we need to calibrate those gyros, because that thing just wants to climb. Okay, it's just hovering. Let's bring it over toward us here. And I'm going to go into vertical mode. Okay, going back to horizontal mode. Pretty interesting. Okay. Yeah, it does aileron rolls very well. Let's come down here. Now, the way it keeps climbing like that, folks, it's just barely hovering. I want to bring it down and see if I can adjust. If I can adjust the elevators. Okay, or yeah, ailerons. So this is up, down. I'm going to give it a little bit downward trim. See if that helps it. Okay, what I did was I pushed forward on the trim button downward and see if we can level it out a bit. That's much better. Okay, give it a little bit of trim there. That helped it. A little bit more downward trim too. Still need some more. Okay, and bringing it back down toward me again. Trying rudder turns. Yeah, rudder turns work better with this. Let's try a loop. Oh, it does 2 loops automatically. Very well, actually. Turn it around this way. Aileron rolls. Oh, turn it around this way. Left aileron roll. Oh, it does it real well. We got to bring it down close to see that. Okay, you need to use the rudder to turn this thing, folks. You're doing it with the elevator, it gets real sluggish, and I still need to give it more downward trim. Trying to bring it down here, it just wants to climb. Pretty cool looking in the air, don't it? Very quiet too, huh? Still trimming it. Oh. This is a stunt plane, folks. Can I get it to go upside down? Or no? You know, they said that you can fly it upside down, but that would require some skill, and I don't have that type of skill. So let's bring it down lower again. That's the maximum down trim. Neat airplane, folks. Those are all automatically done. Automatic rolls, automatic loops. Okay, let's go back into vertical again. Let's bring it around. Which way is vertical again? Vertical's toward me. Let's bring it over close. And vertical. Now this should fly like a quadcopter. And it does, somewhat. Okay, going back to normal mode. Okay, let's see how it flies just by itself without the stunts. Flies very nicely. Very smooth flyer. But it can turn on a dime. Cool. Do that again. Cool airplane, huh? It does these stunts all automatically, folks. Neat airplane. F22. I think I got a winner here, and this is in Volantex and made this. I don't know what company made this. I think it's called Pine something or other. Pine Nutter. I love this little airplane. It's neat. Neat airplane. Just an amazing plane, huh? I'm getting a kick out of it. I'm starting to get the hang of it too. You want to use both aileron and, rudder and aileron for the turns. You don't, and it gets real sloppy turns. Okay, reducing power. Do it again. Neat, huh? Neat airplane. I like it. Okay, now it's getting fast. Okay, no, I don't know what that was. Slow roll. I don't want to roll now. It don't want to roll now. Okay, so its battery's probably getting low. So for the remainder of the flight, let's just fly it. No more of those stunts. Let's just see how it flies. Oh, I haven't gone to 3D mode. Let's go up higher. 3D mode. Flies well in 3D mode, actually. Oh, wait a minute. I got to figure out which stick is which. Back to 3D mode.
Okay, back to normal. So yeah, you can fly this in 3D mode. Although, you want to practice some. It's been a while since I've flown planes. I've flown some toy planes with stabilized, but flying in 3D mode, I need to practice a bit. It's been a while. So we're going to fly until the battery goes out, but this is a nice plane. And it looks so pretty with those lights. Really won't do any more stunts. There we go. Aileron rolls. Okay, bringing it over. Let's bring it close. Nice little plane. Very stable. And this wasn't made by Volantex. I'm just surprised. This is well done. This is actually well done. I don't know what the price is. I think it's under 100, which would be reasonable for this plane. I just wish they'd come out with the spare motors for this soon, because you know, those are going to fail eventually. But who knows? Maybe they'll give you quite a bit of flight time before they do fail. Try this. Neat, huh? Neat, neat, neat. Fun plane. Real fun plane. What it can do. It turns on a dime. Just loves to stay in the air. You know, a little bit of throttle, this thing flies. Flies real well. Flies real well. I like this plane. And it's flying for a good time. I've been up there, I don't know. I've been well over 6-7 minutes, I think, by now. So maybe it does go to 12 minutes. Wow, that can turn sharp. Show that again. And it can be fast too if you want it to be fast. Oh goodness, it's a nice plane. Bringing it back from over there. Nice plane, nice plane. Okay, what was that beep? Oh, that's telling me their battery's low. I guess we got LVC warning. Yep, and the lights are flashing rapidly. So that's our LVC warning. We're going to call it quits here, folks. So bringing it for a landing. I'm not going to try to vertically catch it because well, let's see here. Oh, I got to land it. Kerplop. Neat plane. The SG F22. Nice plane. I like it. Wonderful plane, actually. So, real nice flyer. So, I hope you enjoyed this flight. I sure as heck did. I really enjoyed this plane. This is Quadcopter 101. Signing out.
Hi, Quadcopter 101 here again. Hey, if you want to get your own shout out in one of my future videos, make sure you subscribe to my channel. It's real simple. Just go to my channel page and click on that subscribe. And also make sure to click that bell button right next to the subscribe button. That way you get notified when I release a brand new video immediately and give you a chance to get that first shout out. So give it a try, folks.